Comprehensive Regional Economic Cooperation Agreement or RCEP have been completed and will be signed in the near future. Bank Rakyat Indonesia reported net profit decrease of 48% year-over-year. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from the Business, Economic, and Capital Market Channel. With me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. The Ministry of Trade confirmed that negotiations on a Comprehensive Regional Economic Cooperation Agreement or RCEP between ASEAN and 5 other countries such as Japan, Australia, South Korea, and China and New Zealand have been completed and will be signed in the near future.
The government confirmed that negotiations on a Comprehensive Regional Economic Cooperation Agreement or RCEP between ASEAN and 5 other countries, Japan, Australia, South Korea, China, and New Zealand have been completed and will be signed in the near future. This was conveyed directly by the Minister of Trade Agus Suparmanto. According to him, Indonesia got several positive things to drive a better economy with this agreement. Some positive things that can be obtained are market access for wider Indonesian export products due to Indonesia's participation in global supply chain, cross-country economic and SME capacity building, and cross-country intellectual property protection.
Ini kan global supply chain, meningkatnya dengan kita ada kemudahan, akses bahan baku dan sebagainya. Ini adalah sinyal positif. Pada dasarnya ruang gerak daripada pelaku usaha ini lebih luas. Karena kan saat ini bahan baku dari negara lain kadang-kadang sulit. Nah, dengan adanya perjanjian ini akan dipermudah. Jadi bahan baku dari negara-negara mitra ASEAN maupun seluruhnya total tadi 15 negara tadi ini bisa diakses.
With this agreement, countries that cooperate in RCEP will benefit from expanding the market share of 29.5% of the world's population and GDP of 29% of world GDP. In addition, foreign direct investment in the RCEP area will amount to 29.3% of worldwide. From Jakarta, Muhammad Olga for IDX Channel.
Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment Luhut Binsar Panjaitan believes that Indonesia will get out of the recession zone in the near future. The minister claims that economic data shows positive movement due to good handling of COVID-19 and government stimulus. This belief is based on several indicators, and Luhut stated that the economy shows positive movements, so that he believes that by the end of this year, Indonesia can get out of the recession zone. He claimed that this positive economic movement was due to the handling of COVID-19, which had been carried out properly by the government, as well as the economic stimulus that was running according to the target, so that Indonesia's economy could survive and return to the positive level in the beginning of 2021.
Dijelaskan oleh Menteri Menko Airlangga bahwa kita sekarang sudah mulai dari kontraksi 5,32, sekarang kita sudah bisa di 3,49, dan saya kira itu menunjukkan kita dari data-data yang ada, kita sudah mulai bangkit dari resesi ini. Dan ini saya pikir penting kita sadari karena semua data yang ditunjukkan kami.
Indonesian financial technology peer-to-peer lending companies have recorded faster growth in loan disbursement. By third quarter of 2020, loan disbursement has reached 128.7 trillion rupiah.
The economic impact of pandemic doesn't hold peer-to-peer lending companies in channeling their credit, as Indonesia's financial technology peer-to-peer lending companies have recorded fast growth in loan disbursement. Based on the data from the Financial Services Authority, in total, fintech loan disbursement grew by 113.05% year-on-year to 128.7 trillion rupiah by the third quarter of 2020. Chairpersons of Indonesia's joint funding fintech associations, Adrian Gunadi, say that the growth reflected P2P lending continuing to channel working capital loans amid the pandemic, because many small medium enterprises find it difficult to find funding during crisis. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Super app Grab is investing in Indonesia's fintech platform, Link Aja.
This is the first time Link Aja has received investment from private company. Simultaneously, this funding was also carried out by Telkomsel, BRI Ventura Investama, and Mandiri Capital Indonesia. In short, Link Aja received a total of a commitment of up to $100 million from investors. Grab is the leading of the funding round as a minority investor. It also remarks Link Aja's first financing from major private tech company. The strategic alliance with Grab opens a wide range of potential synergies and collaborative opportunities for both parties.
Kami juga mau mengukuhkan komitmen kami melalui investasi kami di Link Aja, aplikasi teknologi financial hasil sinergi BUMN, dan kolaborasi strategis untuk mengakselerasi inklusi financial di Indonesia. Dan Grab memimpin putaran pendanaan tahap seri B sebagai pemegang saham minoritas Link Aja.
Rumors about Grab's interest in Link Aja have been swirling around since July. Gojek has reportedly also been in talks with the fintech firms, but Grab's move is now positioning it strongly against Gojek's GoPay, especially if the other Grab-backed payment unicorn OVO finally merged with Dana. From Jakarta, Muhammad Olga for IDX Channel.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned. IDX Channel, the Indonesia Stock Exchange channel, is the authorized capital market channel in Indonesia. To give references to global investors, IDX Channel also presented the news about the dynamic of Indonesia's economy, business, and capital market in English. IDX Channel also have different types of programs. They are Special Dialogue, Market Opening, Market Review, IDX First Session Closing, IDX Second Session Closing, Market Headlines, and News Screen. IDX Channel is aired 24 hours a day with 5 hours live program from Indonesia Stock Exchange trading floor. Our vision and mission as the only capital market TV channel in Indonesia that is committed to improve the capital market knowledge in the country. News that had been delivered on IDX Channel can also be seen on our digital platforms, so you can give yourself an update about informations anywhere and everywhere. IDX Channel can be watched through Vision Channel, First Media Channel, IndiHome Channel, and Vision Plus, and also live streaming on idxchannel.com. IDX Channel provides information from around the world from different perspectives. We provide you various investment strategies, stock options, inspiring figures for your business references. IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. Welcome back. COVID-19 pandemic, Indonesian economy started to recover in the third quarter this year. Based on the data, one of the contributors came from cement industry, which recorded a relatively higher production volume.
In the middle of COVID-19 pandemic, Indonesian economy started to recover in the third quarter this year. One of the contributors came from cement industry, which recorded a higher production volume. Minister of Industry Agus Gumiwang said that cement industry has become the main pillar of economic recovery in the third quarter of 2020. Based on data, cement production in the third quarter of 2020 reached 18.1 million tons, or increased by 42.09% quarter to quarter. Even though recorded higher production in quarterly basis, the production in the third quarter is relatively lower than the same period in 2019. Meantime, the recovery in domestic cement industry is also can be seen from the financial performance of cement manufacturers. The financial statement of 3 public cement companies showed there were 25% sales growth in June up to September 2020. From all sources for IDX Channel.
In the midst of current difficult economic conditions, it turns out that there are sectors that have survived and become the main support for the national economy. One of them is the cement industry. So viewers, is it a sign of a recovery in the domestic cement industry? Let's take a look at the data in the first graphic. This is the data about Indonesia cement production data. In million of tons in the second quarter of 2020, it was the level of growth as much as 12.68 million tons. Quarter to quarter basis, it was down by 18.8%. Meantime, for year-on-year basis, it was down by 9.08%. Meantime, in the third quarter of 2020, the Indonesia cement production in the level of 18.1 million tons in quarter-to-quarter basis, it grew by 42.09%. Meantime, for year-on-year basis, it was down by 9%. Meantime, data from the Indonesian Cement Association recorded that until September 2020, domestic cement sales amounted to 44.6 million tons, or still decreased from sales realization in first 9 months of 2018 or 2019. One of the causes is the slowing down of activity in the construction sector, which is also acknowledged by the Minister of Finance, Sri Mulyani. However, in the other hand, the positive performance was shown in overseas sales, where cement export in 9 months of 2020 exceeded 6.85 million tons, or grew by 44.8% year-on-year. So the data can be seen as an indicator of the performance achievements of domestic cement manufacturers. Let's see the next graphic about financial performance highlights of Cement Indonesia. In revenue side, in the second quarter of 2020, the financial performance highlight of Cement Indonesia, it was grow to 28.12 trillion rupiah. Meantime, for the net profit for Cement Indonesia, it was on the level of 1.29 trillion rupiah. In the third quarter of, that was for the data in 2019. Meantime, for the data in 2020, for the revenue for Cement Indonesia in the level of 25.62 trillion rupiah. Meantime, for the net profit, it was 1.54 trillion rupiah, grew by 19.06% year-on-year. Meantime, for the revenue for Cement Indonesia, it was down by 8.88% year-on-year. And Cement Indonesia is the market leader of the cement industry, which holds a 53% share of the cement market, is still able to maintain annual net profit growth, even though the income side has recorded a decline due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has resulted in a decline in national cement consumption and a slowdown in infrastructure projects, as disclosed by the Corporate Secretary of Cement Indonesia, Vita Mahreni. And for this reason, Cement Indonesia stated that the company is actively implementing a cost leadership strategy to reduce various costs or burdens. And next, we're going to take a look at the financial performance of other cement manufacturers in the next graphic. This is the data about financial performance highlight of Indosemen Tunggal Prakarsa. In revenue side, in third quarter of 2019, it was reached 11.34 trillion rupiah. Meantime, for the net profit, it was on the level of 1.17 trillion rupiah. Meantime, in third quarter in 2020, the revenue of Indosemen Tunggal Prakarsa, it was on the level of 10.14 trillion rupiah, or down by 10.56% year-on-year. Meantime, for the net profit, it was on the level of 1.11 trillion rupiah, or down by 5.06% year-on-year. And the second largest cement market leader, Indosemen Tunggal Prakarsa, recorded a higher revenue in quarterly basis, although on an annual basis, it continued to decline due to weak sales during the pandemic. President Director of Indosemen, Christian Kartawijaya, stated that towards the end of this year, cement sales are not estimated to recover at a significant rate. Christian estimates that this year, cement sales will move in negative territory of -1% to -11%. Meanwhile, for 2021, the cement industry is expected to recover, along with optimism for the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. And in next graphic, we're going to see another cement manufacturer, Cement Batu Raja, financial performance. These are the highlights. The financial performance highlight of Cement Batu Raja revenue in the third quarter of 2019, it was on the level of 1.42 trillion rupiah. Meantime, for the net revenue, it was on the level of 22.7 billion. And in the third quarter of 2020, the revenue of Cement Batu Raja on the level of 1.15 trillion rupiah. Meantime, for the net loss, it was on the level of 112.6 billion rupiah. And triggered by the decline in revenue, the performance of Cement Batu Raja was under pressure throughout the third quarter of 2020, where revenue fell 19.18% year-on-year. The company's VP of Corporate Secretary, Dodi Irawan, stated that the decline in revenue was due to the decrease in cement sales volume, where there was a significant decrease in cement demand nationally, and specifically in the company's market areas, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And however, to increase product absorption and performance in the fourth quarter, the company is currently pursuing government and private infrastructure projects, including toll road projects in South Sumatra. And viewers, we hope that domestic cement market will become better in the last quarter of this year, so that it can deliver a larger positive contribution to the national economy. Stay tuned on Market Lines because we'll be right back after the break.
Adikarya komitmennya kemanapun dan apapun yang akan dibangun oleh negara, kita akan siap mendukung. Kita juga saat ini punya proyek di ujung Banda Aceh dan juga punya proyek di Papua.
Pembahasan pasal demi pasal Omnibus Law RUU Cipta Kerja menimbulkan berbagai polemik.
Nolak RUU Omnibus Law, khususnya klaster ketenaga kerjaan yang kami anggap mendegradasi hak-hak pekerja Indonesia.
BPS mengumumkan terjadi deflasi di bulan September.
Tapi di sisi lain, hampir seluruh sektor produktif ini mengalami pertumbuhan yang minus, maka perbankan pasti akan mengalami kesulitan untuk menyalurkan pembiayaan.
Sebetulnya industri hilir itu lokal itu udah siap. Jadi pemerintah juga nggak perlu lagi menarik investor untuk industri hilir. Jadi pemerintah cukup menarik investor untuk industri bahan baku.
Nama saya Devisa Novel, jabatan saat ini di IDX Channel adalah sebagai produser dan sekaligus presenter program yang dibawakan saat ini dengan nama IDX Second Session Closing, terkait juga dengan kondisi kapital market Indonesia dan perkembangannya dari waktu ke waktu. Dan saya sangat senang untuk belajar dan berkecimpung di berita ekonomi, khususnya di kapital market.
welcome back. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 5,494.48, and then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 5,477.14. Then the index was showing weakening trend. By the second session closing time, index was closed at the level of 5,458.6. In short, JCI went down 0.92%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got agriculture as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 1.91%. Consumer goods went up 0.46%. Finance went down 2.13%, and construction went down 1.57%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Garuda Indonesia went up 10.42% to the level of 318 per share. Crust went up 3.63% to the level of 400 per share. SMGR went up 1.12% to the level of 11,325 per share. Indofood went up 1.77% to the level of 7,175 per share. In some of the top losers for today's trading, we got BBRI went down 4.13% to the level of 3,950 rupiah per share. BBCA went down 1.83% to the level of 32,100 rupiah per share. Bank Mandiri went down 3.14% to the level of 5,175 rupiah per share. And Bank BNI went down 1.83% to the level of 5,375 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,187 rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,174. In summary, rupiah went down 0.72%. Bank Rakyat Indonesia reported third quarter of 2020 net profit of 14.1 trillion rupiah, far lower versus 24.78 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2019. Therefore, company booked a net profit decrease of 48% year over year.
Listed company Bank Rakyat Indonesia posted negative performance in the third quarter of 2020. The consolidated net profit of the state-owned bank decreased by 43.05% compared to the same period of last year. The decrease is in line with the decrease in net interest income of 6.2% from 69.86 trillion rupiah to only 57 trillion rupiah. The reserve expense also increased by 22.5% from 15.1 trillion rupiah to 18.5 trillion rupiah. Other expenses increased from 13.7 trillion rupiah to 16.7 trillion rupiah. On the other hand, Bank Rakyat Indonesia has channeled loans amounting to 935.35 trillion rupiah, or an increase of 4.86% compared to the same period of last year.
Hingga akhir kuartal 3 2020, secara konsolidasian, BRI telah menyalurkan kredit sebesar 935,35 triliun rupiah atau tumbuh 4,86% dibandingkan periode yang sama tahun lalu. Karena tahun lalu kita sampai September itu membukukan 891,97 triliun rupiah. Pertumbuhan ini lebih tinggi daripada pertumbuhan kredit industri yang sebesar 0,12% menurut data OJK per September 2020.
From Jakarta, Wicky Adrian for IDX Channel.
Step aside from market condition, moving on to COVID-19 news coverage. Tangerang Regional Government will give COVID-19 vaccines to all citizens. But as the first step, government will prioritize medical workers and law enforcement officers. COVID-19 vaccination for Tangerang citizens will be given by the end of November. Medical workers and law enforcement officers that is concluded as COVID-19 task force team will be prioritized by the regional government. Muhammad Maisal Rashid, as Regional Secretary of Tangerang City, stated that the government is now compiling data for the recipients.
Sudah mendata, melayangkan surat tugas medis, RSUD 3 tadi, puskesmas, terus juga klinik, rumah sakit swasta, sama dengan Satpol PP, TNI, dan Polri. Ya, itu petugas-petugas itu yang senantiasa melaksanakan tugas.
As coronavirus pandemic takes big role on the current economic situation, here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. Before saying goodbye, I would like to remind you on what Mom said. Please do comply with health protocol by using face mask, physical distancing, and avoiding crowd. Also washing your hands often with soap through overflowing water. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.